You know, I love what this camera has been able to do for my live streams. This is the DJi Action 4. I noticed there aren't that many videos on what settings are best for IRL. So I thought I'd share what I've been using for well over a year. A look that I think is clean, works in most lighting conditions without being overly digital. Okay, so what we're looking at is the DJi Action 4. I'm going to swipe down from the top, where we'll be presented with some icons. The one we'll be concerned with the most is this one in the top right hand corner, which looks like a cogwheel. For snapshot, we've got that turned off. For the second option there, that is enabled. Voice control, I don't use. OTG connection, let's skip over that. Wireless connection, let's have a look. For Wi-Fi frequency, we have it set to 5 GHz. Very important for what we do. Going to go back. Moving on, video compression. This should be on HEVC by default. For wireless mic, this is where you want to connect your DJi mic. So if you tap into it, you'll see that there's these two empty slots. This is my DJi Mic 2. Firstly, you tap on the empty slot. We'll power on the mic 2. For this mic, you press and hold the link button, and then in the background, the Action 4 has connected to the mic 2. Then click confirm, and you'll see we've got a little green bar, meaning that we are connected. If you scroll up, you'll have other things you can adjust, like the monitor volume LED. I've enabled it, but you can turn off the LED. Audio to video sync enabled. Low cut filter that will remove low end sounds of like rumbling noises in the background. I should have that off. Scroll down, 32-bit float recording. So that's something that I don't use as a live streamer. Maybe if you intend on reusing your content later on, then you may want to record your audio with this mic. But if you're purely IRL and you're okay with the audio from your live stream, then you don't need that. We've got auto power and off enabled. We'll go back. So a lot of these aren't really important. I think the default settings will be fine. The LED off, those other parts you can look into later. Orientation lock is on. We also have full front screen. It's a screen on the other side of the Action 4. I just think it'll be very distracting for other people. Draw a little more attention to yourself. Perhaps if you had this selfie mode, camera facing yourself a lot, then it could be helpful by having the front screen on. It's up to you. Let's swipe back up. We'll go back to our main screen. You know, I could record about an hour and a half, 90 minutes worth of video with these settings I have at the moment. And you can record a video while live streaming. It won't interrupt your video. So it's a very handy feature, especially if you're going to be doing something where you think the internet could cut out. Bottom middle, we have what are our recording settings. You can change some things in here. I usually have this set to 1080p 30. You're kind of pushing it if you want to do higher than that. If you've got a more powerful iPhone, you might be able to do 1080 60 frames. But I think usually this is fine. You'll be okay with this. In terms of the stabilization, I have mine set to horizon balancing. It gives you quite a wide look without being too wide. Swipe down from the middle. In the bottom right hand corner, you've got a digital zoom. I do not recommend that you use this at all. Let's get into this section here. Now, if you want full access to everything, which I recommend, tap on that Pro button where you'll have a lot more settings you can adjust. Just tap into exposure. These are the settings that I've dialed in. Now this here is the shutter speed, 1/200. Any number below 200 means that the image stabilization becomes unreliable. Now that's just a part of action cameras. Now that's a tricky thing for me as a photographer, because ideally you'd want to have a frame rate of, let's say, 24 frames per second. So your shutter speed is supposed to be double that number, 1/50, 1/60, something like that, rather than 1/200. Problem there is, while you can dial that in, you get a slower shutter speed, you also lose image stabilization. So I suggest prioritizing your image stabilization. Have that set to at least 1/200, like we have there. On the other side, we have our ISO. We want the ISO, that is the digital brightness, be no more than 6400. Try these numbers at first and then go from there. According to my latest YouTube live, 100 to 3200, and then the EV value Oh, I got it at 0. Okay. For the white balance, auto white balance is fine. Confirm. Color, you could go with D-Log M, play around with that. If you want a clean look, like what I mentioned in the intro, normal for the color. Field of view, you can select it from here as well. Standard D-Warp. So what options you see here depend on what else you've selected. So I think if we were to go back, swipe up from the bottom, choose a different stabilization mode. So let's say we go with Rocksteady Plus, go back further, swipe down, plus back to the settings. Then you may have different options here for how wide your video is. So we've dialed in our color, field of view, image adjustment, sharpness 1, and our noise reduction -1. Confirm. And then the other one that was off. So there is our settings. If you want to see what your battery is, top right hand corner, they'll tell you how much battery you got left. Something that I have been playing around with is how to hot swap a battery. You can plug a USB-C cable into the Action 4 and it won't interrupt your live stream, affect the audio, it won't affect the video. The live stream will just continue like normal. And if I needed to charge the battery that was in it, let's say around 20-30% battery life in here, then I could tap on the button, see the battery life, and then plug in a USB-C cable into the Action 4 to charge it up. And depending on your battery, I have the Anker 250 watt, it's able to charge the Action 4 in about 10-20 minutes. So it's pretty fast, I think, to charge it from 10-20% to almost full. So that's one thing you could do. Or alternatively, if you've got a case that protects the Action 4 while giving you access to the batteries, then you can plug in a USB cable which will keep the Action 4 going, take out the battery that's in there, pop in a new one, your stream will continue like normal, take out the USB-C cable, and you're good to go. Let's say we had dialed in some settings, then we can swipe down from the top, click on this icon in the top left hand corner, and you can save those settings to one of these presets. So we have nothing for C5. Tap on this, it's going to ask if you want to confirm, save those settings. So the only change really is the frame rate at 60 FPS. Click confirm, and then we've got access to that new setting. Swipe, where you can select from any one of these other presets. We'll go back to C1, and that'll change it back to what we had before. Okay, that's our video for today. If you found it helpful, please like and subscribe. And then check out this other video right over here on how I use the DJi Action 4 to live stream.